Hey, my name is Tristan Tarpley. I'm the owner of Influencer, and today I'm going to give you 3 questions to think about before you start your influencer campaign. Number 1, what is influencer marketing? Influencer marketing is essentially taking what is well known to be the most successful way of selling a product, which is a referral from a friend, and scaling that. Influencer marketing works because the influencer that is amplifying the message or spreading the message is a trusted source of information to their followers. In the same way that when you get a referral from a friend, they buy more, they negotiate less, the sales cycles are shorter because they already have some innate trust for your brand, ultimately because they trust their friend's reputation or brand in this case. Influencer works in the same way, except for you're taking people who have more friends and they're telling it to more of their friends. The number of followers that an influencer has is only relevant when you're looking to build out the goals for how many people you need to see your message. Number 2, how do you price an influencer campaign? How do you budget for it? What should you expect? Advertising through influencers at the end of the day is no different than advertising through any other medium when it comes to pricing. It's all based off of cost per 1,000 impressions. And the cost per 1,000 impressions for influencer marketing is on average about $13.72. It can be higher or lower depending on the agency or the influencer that you're working with. There are a lot of factors that go into that. For one, at influencer, we're about half that price on average, which again can vary depending on the influencer and the brand and how much reach and a ton of other variables. But it's always based off of cost per 1,000 impressions. And if an outlet doesn't know their cost per 1,000 impressions, then you should probably think really strongly about whether or not you actually want to work with them if they don't know those simple metrics. Number 3, how will you know if influencer marketing is working? And this is a tough one. And it goes back to attribution models, which is a really contentious issue in the marketing world. At the end of the day, you're trying to quantify the monetary value of a reputation, which ultimately brand equity is just a fancy term for reputation. Some easy things that you can kind of implement to get some data on your campaigns, to gauge the effectiveness. For one, you want to have a baseline of how many interactions or how many sub-conversions you need with a customer, getting them to your website, getting them to read that blog, getting them to give you their email address. Figure out what that takes to get your average consumer, average audience member to the desired result, which ultimately is buying your product or handing over their credit card. So you want to have a baseline for that, and then treat the influencer campaigns as another traffic source. With influencer marketing, all you're trying to do is get them into your ecosystem. But your ecosystem has to be somewhat built out in a way that your ecosystem is a place where your demographic wants to be. And so as the traffic starts to come, whether it be through followers on your Instagram or visits to your website or listeners to a podcast or anything like that, you need to be gauging their user behavior once they get into your world. And in the same way the referrals from a friend negotiate less, they buy more, the sales cycles are shorter, you should see that same behavior with influencer campaigns. All right, so those are 3 of probably several questions that you already have. Hope that helps out a little bit. Feel free to reach out to us at any time if you have any more questions, and we'd be happy to answer them. Off to a good start.
Dude, nailed it.